All right, let's talk about a problem that is frankly way too common. You've just shelled out some serious cash for a brand new website. It looks amazing, the design is slick, your friends think it's incredible, but there's a huge, invisible problem. Nobody is actually finding it. Today, we're going to break down why that expensive, gorgeous website might as well be invisible to the only people who really matter, your future customers.
And this is where the heart sinks, right? You did everything you were supposed to do. You made the investment. You signed off on the beautiful designs. You launched with all this excitement. And then you log into your analytics, and it's just crickets. Almost no traffic, 0 new leads, and a conversion rate that's a flat line. It feels like you bought a fancy sports car, but nobody gave you the keys.
And this is the number that just hurts to see. 0. This isn't just a missed opportunity, It's a huge sunk cost. A website that isn't bringing in any business isn't an asset at all. It's actually a liability that you're paying for every single month. So what on earth went wrong? How does a 60,000 rupees project lead to absolutely nothing?
We like to call this the digital ghost town problem. Think about it. You've built this stunning town with beautiful buildings and perfect streets, but you forgot to build any roads leading to it. It's a destination that is literally impossible for anyone to find. So in this first part, let's really dig into why this happens over and over again. Okay, the real root of this problem, it comes down to a fundamental misunderstanding of how the internet, and specifically Google, works today. There's this massive gap between what business owners think they need in a website and what Google is actually looking for when it decides who deserves to be on that coveted first page. And here is that conflict laid out plain and simple. On the left, you've got what you asked for. A stunning design, those cool, smooth animations, a modern look. And hey, your developer probably gave you exactly that. But on the right, you have what Google wants. And Google doesn't care about your animations. It cares about something it calls EEAT. Expertise, experience, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. These are completely different things, and they have almost nothing to do with how pretty your website is.
I love this analogy because it just makes it all click. Imagine spending a fortune to build the most beautiful retail shop in the world, but you don't put up a sign, you don't list its address anywhere, you don't even tell people what street it's on. That is exactly what a beautiful website without search engine optimization, or SEO, is. It's a gorgeous shop in the middle of a desert.
So let's put on our detective hats and get specific. Why exactly is your site invisible? In this next section, we're going to diagnose the most common reasons a website just fails to show up in search results. We'll break down the classic mistakes that create those digital ghost towns. It almost always comes down to one or more of these 4 horsemen of the SEO apocalypse. First, there was simply no strategy. Nobody bothered to research what your customers are actually searching for online. Second, the site has technical flaws under the hood. It's slow, the code is clunky, things Google just hates. Third, the content is weak, just thin pages with no real substance. And finally, the site has 0 authority. No other credible websites on the internet are vouching for it.
Let's just double-click on those technical flaws for a second. This stat from Google is honestly wild. Over half of all people on their phones will just leave your website if it takes more than 3 seconds to load. 3 seconds! Page speed isn't some nice little bonus feature anymore. It's a critical factor. A slow site is an invisible site. Period.
But, and this is a really big but, the story doesn't have to end there. This is all fixable. And when you fix it, the results can be just incredible. Just look at this case study, an e-learning platform with a beautiful site, but they were getting a measly 342 visitors a month. After they went back and fixed these core failures, they did the strategy, fixed the tech, built out great content, and earned some authority, their traffic exploded to over 28,000 visitors every single month. Now that is the power of doing this right.
And that brings us to the solution. The way to avoid this whole mess isn't to try and bolt on some SEO after your site is already built. The real winners build their websites from day one using what we call an SEO-first framework.
So what is an SEO-first mindset? Well, it's basically flipping the entire traditional web design process on its head. Instead of starting with pretty pictures and design mockups, you start with data. You figure out what your customers are looking for. You plan the structure of the site so search engines can understand it. And you outline the content you'll need to create. The design then comes in to support that strategy, not the other way around. And this is what that process actually looks like. You see? Strategy is number 1, always. Then you build a rock-solid technical foundation. After that, you create the genuinely helpful content your audience is searching for. Then you go in and optimize every page and start the long-term work of building your authority. It's a ladder, and you can't skip the rungs.
And that last step, building authority, is so important. Hey, don't just take my word for it. This is straight from the horse's mouth, Google itself. They explain that when another website links to you, it's like a vote of confidence. Without these votes, Google just has no reason to trust your brand new website over the established players. Okay, so you get the problem, you get the solution. But what can you do right now? If you're sitting there with a website that's a ghost town, what are your next steps? Well, this final section is your SEO first aid kit. It's packed with things you can do today to start the healing process. Here are 3 things you can literally do this afternoon. First, especially if you're a local business, go claim your free Google Business Profile. It's the fastest way to get on the map. Second, install Google Search Console. It's also free, and it's like a direct line of communication with Google. And third, a super easy one. Fix your homepage title tag. Make it say what you do and where you do it, not just your business name. Need a few more quick wins? Here you go. Use Google's free tools to check how your site looks on a phone and to test its speed. Go through your key images and add descriptive alt text. It helps Google see what your pictures are about. And finally, start linking between your own pages. It helps show Google how all your content is connected.
Now, a quick word of warning here, and I have to be honest with you. SEO is a marathon, not a sprint. This timeline is a pretty realistic guide. The first few months, you're just laying the foundation. You'll start to see some nice gradual growth in the 3 to 6 month range. But to get those really meaningful rankings that bring in consistent leads, that often takes 6 months to a year of steady effort.
So when you boil this all down, the most crucial point is to change how you think about your website. It's not supposed to be a static, pretty brochure that just sits there collecting digital dust. When you build it with that SEO-first mindset, it can be, and it should be, your single most powerful, high-performing marketing asset.
And that really leaves us with one final question for you to think about. I want you to take a hard, honest look at your own website and ask yourself, what did you really pay for? Is it just an expensive brochure right now, or is it on its way to becoming a true revenue-generating machine? The answer to that question will tell you exactly what you need to do next.